You're on CYInterview.
I'm Chris Shandek. Featured columnist Jay Bilstein is with me. Today on CYInterview, the world is talking about United States gymnast Simone Biles' withdrawal from the Tokyo Olympics to focus on her mental health. Here to discuss this, we welcome back Olympian decorated figure skater Surya Bonaly to discuss with us the pressures to perform and succeed on sports' biggest stage. Surya, thanks so much again for being back with us on CYInterview. How are you?
Hi, I'm doing fine, thank you. Thank you for having me. Have a good evening.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, thanks for coming back with us again so quickly.
Thanks.
I want to just build this up into something to talk about what's going on right now this week, but let's go back and focus on you. In 1992, you were representing your home country of France at the 1992 Winter Olympics. It was held in Albertville, and all eyes were on you to win a medal and make your home country proud. Can you speak about what that was like for you with all the eyes on you during that time?
Well, Olympics is an amazing event. You know that the whole world, the whole universe is watching for 2 weeks. And when you know that, I didn't know at this time, but you know that when you're on the top, let's say 5 contender probably for a medal, and you're a great asset for your federation or for your country, I guess the pressure, it's immense, huge. And, the Olympic Games is a great adventure. It's the best you can ever imagine for an athlete. But it does give you a lot of stress. And when you're one of the top, the stress is major. And on the top of, focusing on your technique, what you're supposed to do for your routine and all that, and the judges, well, there is stress and the pressure of the medias. And obviously, you want to make sure you do the best, and you sacrifice all your life for pretty much that moment, and waiting 4 years for Olympic Games is so big. So you want to make sure that you practice and become the best at that moment. But sometimes the stress is so much that, sometimes you're losing it because it's just too much.
So building off of that, Simone Biles went into this Olympics with many people calling her the greatest of all time and expecting that she would bring home gold in many events for the United States. She has withdrawn from the competition to focus on her mental health. As someone who has dealt with some disappointment at the highest levels of sports with all eyes on you, what are your thoughts on what has happened with Simone Biles this week, and do you have any advice for her?
Advice? I don't think she needs advice much. She's, a strong woman. And she's been champion, and she showed to everyone that for the last 7 years, she was amazing. So it happens. Any champions had some ups and downs, and this is mostly a time where it's very special because, she's starting to feel very vulnerable because the stress and the pressure, and everybody's waiting for her to be the champ on everything, all around, individual, team-wise, and it's hard. And more you're getting old, more the stress eating you alive. And yes, when you're young, 18, 19, it's kind of fine, or even 16. Now the new kids now go to the Olympics and win Olympics at 15 years old. It's like nothing for them, no stress. But towards, once you pass 20s, it's starting to freak you out, and you doubt yourself, and you're starting to feeling unsure, and yes, and it's hard. And she's amazing, so no matter what, even if she don't bring medal, she's still an amazing champion, and she has so much world records, so nobody will forget that, how much medal she has. Everybody's dreaming to go there and go to the Olympics. And for the people who hate, the haters, too bad. Champions are not robots, we are humans. And champions have heart, have, a soul. And sometimes if your heart is shattered or feeling weak, well, it's hard. And, and I feel bad in a way, but in a way I feel totally being in a shoe 3 times at the Olympics. And it's hard. For some people it's fine. Maybe they take some pills. Some people go and have some doping, pills or something to stabilize them or control them. and some, they don't do anything, but they're starting to feel weak just because the pressure is too high. And for me, for sure, it's what happened, at Lillehammer or Albertville, because we all prepare for so many years, so many months. We know our routine by heart, with our eyes closed. So at this point, it's not that you're not ready. At this point, it's just something apart, and nobody can touch that.
Jay? Surya, one thing that I never really contemplated before was the issue of bullying. Now, people who compete in the Olympics have, for the most part, dedicated this gigantic portion of their young life to be at a very, very high level in their sport. And when you do that, you live differently than other kids. You train, you eat differently, your body develops differently in line with your sport. Did you have to deal with any bullying because you look different, maybe your legs became more muscular because of your sport and all? It's something that I never even thought about. But then when I read about that with Simone, the whole issue of being bullied in school because she was muscular, because she's a gymnast and all, and I said, I never really thought about that. I never thought about how scarring that could be. Is that something you encountered, and do you think it's something that's common?
I think it is. The thing is, like, when you're good and you're better than other people in your club or in your group, people starting to feel, strange, and you get in trouble, and people don't like you, and people starting to be jealous, and people start, instead to tell you right away in your face, I don't like you, I don't like you because you beat me. They start to be, strange, bullying you, nagging you, to laugh at you, and that's sadly, people are not nice in the world. It happens in many different, places, at work, anywhere. And, in the sports, it's a bit less, but you still feel that weirdness going on when you practice or you compete. And sadly, nobody, so far after 40 years, is still going on. And people don't like when you're too good, sadly.
How did you deal with the pressure that athletes feel at the Olympics and the stress you spoke about? What was your method for dealing with the stress?
Every athlete deals differently with stress. Some people stress and they cannot sleep a couple of nights before, or they cannot eat before performing. Some people, like me, I was fine. I was eating my lunch, breakfast, dinner normally and never throw up. Some people go sick really bad, nauseous. All depends how you deal with pressure. I know my parents never try to give me extra pressure, at home. So they're like, do your best, do whatever what you've been practicing over and over, but that's it. They never tell you need to be on the top 3 of that competition or be on first. Otherwise, you're a loser. Otherwise, you're not supposed, you don't deserve it or whatever. I always try to, to stay very zen, very quiet, and try not to expect too much, because I didn't want to be disappointed, and I didn't like to be feeling frustrated because the result was not what I expected. So I always try to stay modest and try to say, I'm okay if I do good, woo-hoo. If I don't, I'm not going to be too excited or not going to cry, because I didn't want to put too much stress on myself. And so it is really hard, but you have to have a coach also who give you lots of good motivation, good positive input, but don't put stress at all. Like this, I think it helps, for the last minute preparation before that special moment.
Did your coaches and the people around you work for you to express your passion by being in love with the process of training and the sport itself, or was there very direct pressure on go out and win at all costs?
Most of the time, I was lucky. I remember my first Olympic Games in 1992 in Albertville. I knew that, besides having stress and having the whole country, rooting for me, but give me extra stress, I think my coach started to get that stress as well. And he was his first Olympics with me, and he got into that crazy feeling that he sent it to me, sent that vibe that we were all like kind of freaking out, even though we were excited. Still, I felt like my coach was not 100% zen, and that didn't help me at all. And that's why after the Olympics, I'm like, you know what? I don't think I want to continue with you because I don't feel secure or confident. And so it's why I kind of changed as well. It was kind of one of the issues that I had. But it is hard to de-stress in a way because a coach gives so much at that level. You give your time and your life to become an Olympic coach. So finally, when it happens, you want everything happen, good, no injuries, nothing bad. But in a way, it's for your athletes. But as a coach, you give so much. You sacrifice your own family, your life for your sport, and after the Olympic happens and your performer or your athlete doesn't do really well, and it's kind of like, all that work for nothing. So in a way, it's like a teamwork for sure. It has to work together for sure. You cannot just be feeling like solo.
The Olympics are extraordinarily stressful, as you stated, and competing at the extraordinarily high level that you did is tremendously stressful as well. But let's talk about the every person who competes in a sport. You train people in skating and so forth. Do you have methods to help the weekend athlete, a person who may compete once in a while, to deal with their stress? Do you have tips? Are there drills you use, self-hypnosis, meditation? How would you deal with someone to help as much as you could stress-proof them?
Well, for sure, it all depends of level, If I have a medium student, beginner or advanced, I keep it cool and I try not to stress them too much, but in a way it's their first competition, so I really have to make them relax and make them feel very confident. Then when it's like a higher level, like competing like at sectionals, nationals, it's different issues. Like you have to make sure that as a coach, you're not stressing your students at all, but you have to make sure that, prior the practice and everything that you've been doing has to be 100% well done, so you feel that your students or your athlete is fully ready mentally and physically. So I could say that practice is the most important, to make you feel really confident and feel, okay, I got that. But after, for sure, Olympics, it's another high level that nobody can really realize until you're there. So only Olympian can who has that feeling. But also the Olympics, you cannot, for some reason, when you go to the Olympics, you're in some kind of bubble. You go to an Olympic village where there's only Olympians and no one else at all. No one else. So you feel like, okay, I'm very insulated, but in a way, I don't know anything what's going on around the world, and it's good to be focusing, but in a way, it's like almost too much. But it's well organized because the Olympics, you see people from all over the world who compete on the games. So in a way, it's excited, but you don't have your family, you don't have any, your life that you have when you're back home. So it is stressful. Or if you want, like I remember my national team decided that I should don't even stay in an Olympic village because I should focus more and be in a place where it's just me, my parents, or my coach. So they rented a house for a week or two so I can just stay at that place and focusing. Oh, that's even worse, I think, because it's just too much. And the Olympics games are already really hard. You don't need extra stress being just with your coach and your parents. So there's many ways to deal, but yes.
Very insightful, and of course the kind of insight that could only be shared by somebody like yourself who's actually been there and done that. Chris?
Surya, in closing, before we wrap up, just a quick question. Is it fair to say, based on what you have gone through as an Olympian and competing at the highest levels, that what happened to Simone Biles this week isn't surprising to you?
Yeah, I could say that. It's not surprising at all. I mean, it's surprising to see that, you know, we are rooting for her. And when I heard on TV 2 days ago, she quit, and I was like, what? What has happened? I feel like my whole morning just was messed up. And yes, I mean, we're all fans, and we're all like here to support her. And as an Olympian, I understand totally, so I don't have the same way of, you know, thinking. And I feel that, you know, she needs to be for sure reboost. Probably she needs a boost, and she really needs to be to feel more confidence. And because she knows she's been there already 4 years ago, so she's capable for sure. And she did it at the Olympic trial few months ago. But now she needs to relax, cool off, and I don't know. She needs to go out, maybe go party for a while to loosen up. At this point, you're like, okay, because I'm sure, you know, in 2 weeks it will be done and she will be cool and normal again. But at this point, she needs to just chill and relax and have people make her laugh and make her forget about skating for a while. Actually, that's why when I was in Albertville, my coach told me that maybe I should go and ski, you know, on my day off to relax and don't think about skating. Because skiing for me was kind of a nice way to, you know, stay active, but in a way, to do something totally different and be away from the skating world or my sports. So yes, maybe she should do something else and just, you know, hike or sightseeing around and do something else for a day.
Very well stated. So for decorated figure skater, current coach and teacher Surya Bonaly, featured columnist Jay Billstein, and CYInterview, I'm Christian.